What's up, lads? My name is John. This is Across the Board, and I'm going to recap the Champions League games that happened this week. The first matchup that I'm going to talk about is my team, Liverpool. If you guys know the podcast, you guys know the YouTube videos that you've seen before. I'm a massive Liverpool fan, have been for 6-7 years now, and this was probably our most disappointing game that we have played this season. Maybe the game against Napoli in the Champions League as well. So I made a Champions League prediction video. It didn't come out. There was zero audio to it. Not sure what happened. So I'll remake it and will not change my winners on it. But I had Liverpool winning this game in both legs. First leg did not have the result that I wanted, but in the video I did say that Atletico was the one team that I did not want to draw when the drawing was happening. Of course, we get Atletico, and I think that they have a terrific manager in Diego Simeone, a coach that the players really run for, that the players really love, and there's similarities between him and Klopp. So Liverpool ended up losing this game 1-0 to Atletico due to a Saul corner goal in the fourth minute. So after that fourth minute, Atletico really just sat back. Simeone was really smart with his tactics. Atletico sat back, and Atletico did not let Liverpool back into the box for the rest of the game. John Oblak is going to be taking out that back line to a terrific steak dinner, I am sure, after he basically got the day off in this game. The defending for Atletico was absolutely phenomenal. I think that was one of the best defensive games I've seen played against Liverpool in the last few years, really. Look, I love Jurgen. All right, Jurgen, I'm Jurgen's son. All right, I love you. I'll go by Jonathan Klopp if I need to, okay? But I didn't understand the substitute to take out Salah. I think that he had one of the better performances, and it's really hard to say that because I don't think any of the team had phenomenal performances. But I think that Salah, he really moved into more. Bobby was playing midfield and really played on the side a bit towards the end of the first half. And Salah really became more of the striker. And I think that once that happened, we started to get in some kind of a rhythm. And Klopp's decision to take out Salah and put in Ox was a little confusing to me. I completely understand the Sadio substitution because Sadio was on a yellow card. He was just coming off of an injury. You didn't want to not have him available for the next game because you don't know what's going to happen in 3 weeks. I completely get that. That was fine. I completely get putting in Origi. But the Ox one, I get putting in Ox, but I think someone like that was having a bad performance, like maybe Fabinho, should have been substituted out, maybe went less defensive and more attacking, put in Ox or Minamino for possibly Gini or Fabinho. And Henderson picked up an injury in this one that's really unfortunate, but I think that Salah would have been useful in this game. He really was our only sort of attack that worked in this game, as Gomez had a cross into Salah, which he missed on a header. That was really our only somewhat chance. There was a chance in the 73rd minute where it looked like Liverpool might get something out of it, as Henderson and Bobby and Robertson kind of were a little stagnant in the box. It looked like nobody really wanted to take that ball and shoot, and Salah definitely would have. I think that maybe if we had Mo in that situation, then we would have gotten a goal. The referees were absolutely poor in this game, but I don't think that you can really blame the referees too much. This was just one of the worst offensive performances from Liverpool in quite some time. And I think that you really just have to credit Atletico's defense. They definitely had some frustrating just ways that they did with their tactics, for sure. And I think that that's also Liverpool bias for me. Every team does that. But I was a little frustrated with the way that the refs were giving everything to Atletico and the way that Atletico were using the refs to their advantage, for sure. But, I mean, at some point, you kind of got to credit Atletico for doing that and being smart enough to do that. I mean, that's credit to Simeone as well. This was also a really rare game for Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think that this was one of Trent's worst performances. I think he actually had a ton of hustle in the first half, but his crosses were the weakest crosses I've seen in quite some time for Trent, maybe ever, as the crosses just really weren't working. And again, that's a credit to Atletico's defense. It's only 1-0. You go back to Anfield. I definitely think that Liverpool are still winning this and getting out of the Champions League stage, but I think that some Liverpool fans may be too confident in this, thinking that we just have this in the bag, and I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I am a little worried. I think Atletico is an underrated team. The next game was PSG versus Dortmund, and by far the best game out of the four. Dortmund ends up winning this game 2-1, and it was really due to Borussia Dortmund's midfield play. They really won in the middle of the park, and though everyone's going to be talking about Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho in this one, as they should, Alex Witsel had a terrific game in this one and really had a key performance. I don't think that they win this one without him. But as I said in my prediction, and what everyone wants to hear about, is how Neymar and Kylian Mbappe performed against Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho. This had the anticipation of a Young Bucks versus the Hardy Boys. This had the anticipation of a Revival versus Gargano and Ciampa. This had the anticipation of New Day versus the Usos, and it lived up to all of those great matches. Shoutouts to any wrestling fan that's watching. And Neymar and Mbappe were probably the two best players for PSG in this one, as they were creating chances, and Neymar eventually does get a goal from a terrific assist from Mbappe, but it wasn't enough, as Jadon Sancho was creating a ton of opportunities. And Erling Haaland, man, he's just critical. He's clutch. I don't know what to say. This kid is absolutely phenomenal as he gets in his first goal and the second goal. But the second goal is absolutely phenomenal. Top end goal from Haaland. And truthfully, Dortmund have two $100 million players or £100 million players. And they could sell one and revitalize the team and keep both and just have this terrific future. Or they could sell both of them and actually have the money that Manchester City say that they have. I thought everything was good between Neymar and PSG, though, as Neymar came out after this game and had some choice words for PSG. Neymar voiced his frustration with PSG not playing him in the last 4 games before going to Dortmund, and how intense of a matchup playing against Dortmund was, and how he needed to be ready for that type of intense game, and he was not. He said, quote, "Unfortunately, I had to accept that. I did not like what they proposed to me, but the club is in charge, unfortunately, but that ends up being bad for me and my teammates," unquote. It looks like this game came down to what team had the best chemistry, and that was certainly Dortmund over PSG. I think that Dortmund will eventually win this one in the second leg as well and move on. The next game is Tottenham versus RB Leipzig. Future Liverpool star Timo Werner was absolutely on fire on this game as he was creating chances, and he ends up scoring the goal. He converts a penalty, but Leipzig were really the better team throughout the entire game. You have a striker like Timo Werner who ends up getting a penalty, and he's only trailing Robert Lewandowski in goals for the Bundesliga. You know he's going to convert, which he did. But Timo Werner also should have had an assist after a terrific pass in the box to Peter Schick, I believe, and should have been a goal. Schick didn't get the goal, but he should have had an assist right there as well. He had a terrific performance, easily my man of the match in this game. However, though it was in London, I don't know how bad of a performance this was for Tottenham, as I think Tottenham were a real big underdog in this game. When I made my prediction, it was right after I got the news of Heung-min Son being hurt. And with no Son in this game, who I believe to be Tottenham's best player, even when Harry Kane is fit, no Son, no Kane, I didn't think that they really stood a chance. Being 1-0 down, it's not a huge deal for Tottenham. I know that they still have to get more goals in the game against Leipzig because it will be at home for Leipzig. But being 1-0 down might actually be a win for Tottenham. Maybe not a win, but you'll take it. However, manager Jose Mourinho did not express the same type of optimism, as Jose had said that he sees his team like a gun with no bullets, saying that he was really frustrated with how tired they have to be. They're not a deep team, and he was talking about how deep Leipzig's team is. I mean, Danny Olmo didn't even start in this game for Leipzig. It's got to be frustrating for Jose, as I don't think that Tottenham are very deep, and they're still in a real battle in Champions League to possibly even get into the top 4 to 6 that they're going to be battling with all season. In the last game, Atalanta defeats Valencia 4-1 at the San Siro. Atalanta technically played at home, but they're really playing at the San Siro because their ground did not get the clearance from UEFA to play in the Champions League. And they are riding this fairy tale, hopefully to the end. At least I would have it Liverpool versus Atalanta, where we eventually crush the fairy tale. But if there was a team that wasn't Liverpool to win this, it would probably be Atalanta for me, just because how are you going to root against Atalanta right now? 2015, they were in Serie B, I think, maybe Serie C, and now they're playing in the Champions League, destroying Valencia. What we knew from this game is that Atalanta could score, and they could score in bunches. I had that in my prediction. I had Atalanta winning this one as well. So if it were to stop here, I would be 3-1 on my predictions, as I had Atalanta winning against Valencia. But I think both opponents wanted this team. But Atalanta have been on fire in terms offensively. I think they've had 3 5 or more goal games since December 22nd, and they had another phenomenal offensive performance as Illich was incredible in this game, and they play with such confidence. It's awesome to see for Atalanta. Valencia have had a struggle this season. I think they're 7th right now in La Liga, and though they came out of the Champions League group as number 1 over the likes of Ajax and Chelsea, it was only by a point, and I was still very concerned about how tough Valencia actually were, how real they were, and I think that most teams probably wanted to get Valencia in this draw. Atalanta does, and they absolutely destroy Valencia's defense. I think that Atalanta easily take it in the second leg. Maybe not as much of a performance, maybe 2-1 or so, but Atalanta can score with the best of them. I think that that is their strength. I want to see this fairy tale continue. So Forza Atalanta. So that's it. Though Liverpool lost, I think Liverpool's still going to take this, but the rest of the teams that won, I actually like them to win the rest of their legs. And the PSG Dortmund game should be very, very fun to see, as maybe Neymar is a little bit more fit and this game is a little bit different. And then I will be coming out with a Champions League prediction video where I will include these games, but I'll talk a little bit about how the first leg may have changed things, but I won't change my winner. If I had a winner that was different, then I will not change it. Like Liverpool, I will not change it. You'll never walk alone. And also I will have a video on cheating in sports, which talks a lot about Manchester City's ban in the Champions League. So that'll be in the next few videos. So thank you guys for watching. Deuce.